Alright guys, I got another video for you. Today we're going to be working on Ant Animator. I've got a scene here with, actually I have no scenes yet built. I did go ahead and download the sprite sheet and I put it into my sprites folder. Here's what the sprite sheet looks like up close. And what you can see here on the sprite sheet is we've got a bunch of different pictures of ants, or a four-legged approximation of an ant. Each line has, I think, 32 different sprites on there, and each one of the rows has, I think, six different actions, I think. And we're gonna break this sprite sheet down, and we're going to put it into the game. The way that this works is typically we put one picture in and then we use that for our sprite, and we've been swapping them out, but we're going to use this sprite sheet to save us some space. The way that the sprite sheet works is it acts like a window, and you move the window around and you select different animations. The first four of these animations are the idle animation, and so you're going to have a window that moves left and right, or just maybe moves wherever and selects a picture to show for the ant. You'll see more whenever we get this working. But so the first animation, maybe the first 4 frames, if you wanted to play the idle animation, would just go like a window like this and go through. And then whenever you want to walk, it moves over to the walking animation and rolls those and shows them one at a time. Alright, let's get started on that. So there's my little example of how that works. Alright, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to add a new scene. I'm going to call this the ant farm. This is going to be just my main scene where I put the ant in. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'll do Control S. I want to put this in the scenes folder, and I'll just call it ant farm. Alright, so I've got a farm there. Now I need to create an ant, so I'll create a new sprite, or a new scene by hitting that plus sign. I'll go to other node, and I'm looking for a character body 2D, and I'm gonna name this ant. Alright, I'm gonna move around and get right over the top of 0, 0 here. You don't want to move your characters around, you kind of want to leave them on 0, 0, so that's my 0, 0. And I need to add a couple things for my ant here. I'm going to add a sprite for the pictures, and I'm going to call this his skin, so I'll rename that to skin. I'm also going to add a collision shape. We're going to use that later, so I'm going to select a circle and then I'll hide it. And then lastly, we're going to need an animation player. Alright, so I've got an ant, a skin, which is a sprite, a collision shape, and an animation player. You're going to want to go to your skin, or your sprite, and drop in one of your sheets for the sprite image. So we're used to dropping in a single, image. This one is going to have many, many images. There's 256 on there. This can seem overwhelming, but I'm going to show you how it's very, very useful, and it can save us a whole lot of time here. Alright, under the tabs over here, you've got an animation tab. Then it's got an H frames and a V frames. H frame stands for horizontal frames. How many frames are going left and right? And there are 32. You can see as I turn this number up, if I just do them one at a time, you'll see that it's going to split my sprite sheet, and it just basically said, oh, there's 2 sheets here, but really there's a lot more than that. There's 32, so 32 frames one way. And then how many do I have vertically? I think it's 8. Let's find out. Yes. Alright, so if you get those correct, you can have your little ant there. I'm not a big fan of the blurriness. I'm going to fix that right quick. You can do that with me if you want. Project settings, and then under that you can go to, I think it's rendering textures, and I'll change that to nearest. And when you do that, it makes the it looks more pixelated right there. So that's, I like that right there. Okay, so I've got my pixelated picture in there now. Okay, now just like I was talking about earlier, this is going to move around like a window. The window, the first frame is going to be the 0 frame. The next one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Alright, what do I mean by that? Over here on the side, you have a frame, and you can turn that frame up. If you click in there, you can press the up arrow, or you can literally click this up arrow here, and you can see that it rolls through the different animations, and it's got a number that corresponds with each one of these sprites, these different sections of the sprite sheet. It's just popping around and picking each one of those there. Alright, we're going to want to use these sprite frames to make our animations. Alright, so let's get started on that. I'm going to go to the animation player, and I'm going to start a new animation. Let me just line my guy up over here. So my little ant, there he is. Alright, so let's do animation and new, and I'm going to say walk underscore LR for left, right, and I'm going to hit OK. So my ant is walking left and right. I want to get this timeline centered up, so I will zoom in. The gray part is my working area. It's like a video that's playing, and that's the timeline that's working on there. I'll go to the skin, and I'll go to the very start of my animation by moving this little blue bar to the 0 spot. And actually, you know what? The first frame is not even walk. It's actually idle. So let's do idle underscore LR. So we got idle LR and we got walk LR. Idle's the actually the first one. I'm just now remembering. All right, so I'm gonna hit 0, and I'm gonna come over here to this frame, and I'll click the key with the little plus sign next to it. It's gonna ask me, are you trying to create a new track for this frame? And I'm gonna hit yeah, I am. So it inputs the 0 frame at the 0 second right there. So now it's at 0. It put the 0 frame in. If I move over to the next one, I want this to be the 1 frame. And then you can see the ant playing his different little animation. And I just keep clicking it until I get to a frame that's not an idle frame. So that's 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I got 0, 1, 2, and 3. So there's my little idle animation. That is, right now I have 4 frames in there, so you would do 0.4 for your frames. And then you can hit this little replay to check and make sure you got your stuff in there correctly. Alright, this is the idle animation. It kind of, at the last frame when it goes from the frame 3 back to 0, you can see it kind of pops up. I don't really like that, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to change my animation length to 0.7, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the animation forward, and then I'm going to play the animation backwards like that. So it's going to make it look like he's idling up and down, kind of like in a breathing motion, and it won't have that immediate pop going right back to the 0 frame. So I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll go down 1, and I'll keyframe it. So now I went from 3 to 2, and then I'm going to go from 2 to 1, and then I'll go, and I think that's, maybe I'll go back to 0. Let's find out. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. It might only, that might be all it needs. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and then it should go all the way back over here to 0. So that looks like 0.6 seconds. Let's see if that looks right. I've got it on repeat. I did 0.6. Let's see if it looks, yeah, that looks pretty smooth. Okay, so I got 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1, whatever. Let me double check. Man, I can't get this right. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and then when it goes back over here, it's back at 0. Yes. Alright, so that idle is actually one of the only ones that I do that on. And they did add a button that's very similar to that over here. It's like it goes from the very start to the very end on its own, like that. I'm not going to use that. I don't really know how to use it right now. It's probably pretty simple, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the frames on there. I know how to do that. Okay, so I've got the idle frame. And if I take a look back at this guy here, you can see that we use the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we kind of went, so we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back, and then here. So it's kind of going like that to make the idle animation. The next set, which is, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it goes all the way up to like 11. You can kind of see it if you, let's go to the walk animation, so I'll just select another one. You want to make sure that this repeat is not on. You don't want the repeat on. So I'll go to walk, and so we got my idle. I'm at the start. I go 0, 1, 2, 3, and then next one is 4. You can see he's like walking there. I'll keyframe that one, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 11th one was the last one. Make sure you get that one. You can double check yourself by hitting the repeat button. It looks like it's 0.8, so I'll say 0.8. You can count the frames to make sure that's right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to hit repeat and I'll hit play. And now I can tell that that animation looks correct. If you're missing a frame, it'll look kind of weird, and you can go back and look. Alright, so I got my walk LR. I've got my idle LR. And if you just keep going with that same formula, you can check out the different animations. We've got attack. That's going to be our next one. So let's go ahead and do attack. So I'll say animation and new attack LR. And then I'll roll all the way to 12. I believe that's where it starts. So there's 12 where he's starting the attack. I'll keyframe it. I'll hit create. I'll key. 16 is a part of a hurt animation, I believe. So let's see. I think he's taking damage right there. So it might only be 4 animations. I have like a little deal I'm going. I'll delete that one. So then we'll do 0.4. Let's see what that animation looks like. I have a little like key I'll put on the screen for you guys. I think that's right. We might want, let me see what number 5 looks like. Well, I'll do that in a second. Okay, so we got our animations. There's a lot of animations in there to do. I've got a list of the ones I want you to do, so let's go ahead and I'll get you that list so you can see which ones I want. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this. We haven't saved yet, so I'll do Control S. And I'll save this under, let's do scenes, and I'll make a folder for characters, I guess. And I'll put the ant in that folder. So I've saved this. So I've got my ant. And my ant needs a script, so I'll click on this ant here, and I'll hit the Add Script button. I want to put that in the scripts folder, so I'll move up to scripts and I'll add this, and it'll be, I'll put it in the characters folder as well. So ant. So it's in scripts characters ant. Under this part here, I always like to label my script, so I'll say ant. And then we don't want our character to fall through the floor, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off gravity by commenting out these two. Alright, so I told you I had a bit of code for you to like figure out where the frames are. I typed up all of the different animations, so there they are, so you can see all of them. You got the left and rights. They go from 0 to 3. The attack is 4 frames, so it's, oh, that might be 5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it is that 16th frame, or that's what I decided anyway. So there's the attack one, so we need to go add that to that one. But you've got your left and rights, and you've got your diagonal up. You got, and you'll notice that I don't have 2 for the diagonals. That's because you can flip it with a flip feature. We'll be doing that later on. We've got an up, and we got diagonal down, and we've got down. Now the naming scheme here is important. You'll see I have walk underscore LR, walk underscore diag up, walk diag down. I'm using these specifically. So I'm also going to swap in the different things. So instead of walk, you can swap walk with idle, and it's going to keep the LR for being on left and right. The attack, you'll swap the word attack LR. Or if you're doing diagonal up, you'll swap attack for diagonal up. Okay, let me go back to this animation here. I'm going to go ahead and add in that last frame, so 0.5, and I'll check what the last one is. It's supposed to be 16, so I should have frame 16 in there. So I'll move up to 16 and I'll keyframe it. Alright, so this is what my animation should look like. That looks a little bit better. And like I said, don't leave the repeat on. Alright, so there's my animations, and you're going to want to add all of those animations in. Alright, I jumped ahead, and now I have all of my animations done. This is what your animations should look like. You should be able to select any one of the different animations and see them playing in the different directions. I want you to add all of these. I believe I have an assignment for you guys to fill out. This is what I'm looking for. I want all the different directions for the animations, and you can use this template right here to match the different frames. Take a screenshot, pause the video, whatever you need to do, and put these different animations in. There is your key. I know I'm too kind for writing it all out for you and not making you have to figure it out on your own. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.